If we look at what was happening to Jews during Holocaust, just before Nazis began to round them into the ghettos, they were tightly infiltrated into all spheres of society. For example, Krakow was practically a Jewish city. They've been there for 6th century, and when Nazis came, at the moment, Jews were so egoistic that together in the outside, but they were restricted in what they could do, so they would gather in temples and made their trading deals there, and they had to go over such sufferings that when you look at some of the facts, it's simply terrifying. Such tortures. In fact, I haven't seen. Maybe there was something similar done to other people, but it was simply humiliation. They were not considered to be humans, but animals. They were burned. They had to experience so much. Even when you look at it from a side, it already frightening, very frightening. And now it's gotten numb, and people again return to such egoistical. Jews return to such level when they are again rule everything. Will there be a realization of some sort without the pressure, and why it was happening then? Were those horrors of Holocaust necessary? Physically, Jews don't rule in the world. You can check that. It's not true. Americans, under any circumstances, don't let Jews in. Even in Germany, it wasn't to such degree. Meaning they were present. They're taking many positions, but they were present there as rather doctors, lawyers, people of such class, and not as rulers of empires like Reich. Secretariat and so on. The same with Americans. They don't let anyone into the White House somewhere that near that. They're all Anglo-Saxons and so on. They'll let Obama in for a little bit, but of course today are not the same times as they were before. But in general, it's not so. And the sensation that Jews rule and twist things come from within. They are from within. In fact, within internal nature of person, because the nature and destiny of a person in the world depends on whether he follows the path, the so-called Jewish path, Kabbalistic, or not. Therefore, it seems to them that Jews twist the world around. But it seems to them that Jews twist the world through this regular system, financial, economical, political, industrial, mercantile, and so on. No. They occupy those areas, but still it's all so mixed together between Morgans, Rockefellers, Rothschilds, and so on, so that there is no such thing. Meaning, it's not all to such degree, though you can find thousands of them in there, but it doesn't mean that they rule the world. Besides, in all those organizations, there are plenty of non-Jews mixed all together. You can verify all that. No, it's not. Abramovich rules the world. So what's there for Israel from that Abramovich? Tell me, please. To what kind of World Jewish Organization does that Abramovich help, or the rest of them, which you know without naming them, maybe even personally? So what do? They profit from others and of their own. And along with them, there are plenty of Russians, Americans, English, French, and so on. No, but the sensation that the Jews twist the world, rule the world, that my destiny depends on them. It is indeed true, because from their correction depends correction of the rest nations of the world. And to the degree Jews would rise on spiritual ladder and would pull the rest of humanity along, to that degree people would sense that now they're acting right and we will follow them, there will be better, they are smarter. In that sense there is understanding. As soon as Jews would start doing what they're supposed to do, the other nations would have better attitude toward them, meaning they would accept them as teachers, as leaders. Why not? If it's indeed arranged so by the nation and decides, I myself can follow that path. Rabbi Akiva was the first Jew amongst the Jews, though he wasn't Jew by birth. Here we go. The path is open to anyone. So where am I going with this all? The problem is not in the corporeal power or advantage, but only in spiritual. But it's not sensed by nations of the world. They don't understand, and thus they see it the other way. That's number one. Number two, that in general, since we're talking about Germany or the history in general, nations of the world don't have bad attitude toward the Jews, but toward the fact that Jews don't realize their purpose. And it's not because nations of the world are smart or not, but because the Creator pressures Jews in such a way through them. Let's take Inquisition, for instance. It didn't relate to Jews badly. It related bad to Marranos. It related bad to those, how are those who convert to Christianity called in Russian? Jews which converted to Catholicism. There's Russian word. Columbus was one of those. No, it doesn't matter. But yes, there were plenty of those. Meaning, if you're Jewish, then you're Jewish. If you're Arab, then you're Arab. Christian, then Christian. But it was suspicious and disgusting for Spanish Catholics when Jews converted to Catholicism. Why it was arranged so by the Creator? Because the Jew must carry out his function, to lead others to communism, roughly speaking, to integration, correction, toward rising above egoism. And instead, he abandoned his role, mission, and left to Catholicism. Thus, Inquisition began from that. And the same was in Germany. Germans initially wanted only one thing. We want to deport all of Jews to Palestine, unconsciously, through them. Direct instructions from the Creator were carried out to create a state in Palestine, Jewish state, so they could begin execute their mission, and they resisted with all they had. With all they had. Like an ass resists and doesn't want to move, and you push it from the back. Imagine. So we're Jews. We are Germans. This is our home, and so on. And that went on until they began to be thrown out. Because Creator instills such hatred. This is the law of nature. You must begin to carry out your mission. If you don't, then you don't have any possibility to exist. Today, this applies to not only Jews, but to the entire world, more and more. Today, there will be simply Holocaust, not for Jews only. There will be Holocaust for the entire world. I warn about that. Because we have reached the point where it's all revealed to the entire world. The whole theory, all practical aspects, everything is explained everywhere. The whole internet is filled everywhere. Please take it. Listen to it. Accept it. This is your remedy. Nobody does it. Neither Jews nor Christian nations of the world. Now everyone will suffer if they don't begin to realize it themselves. For that reason, I look at the future. Look at what's going on. Little outbreaks here and there. Hundreds, thousands of people get killed. Syria, Egypt. This whole thing is not going to calm down. It's going to gradually expand like a flame in dry woods. It will spread in each place. Somewhere there underneath, we will start explode here and there. It'll get to Russia. You'll see what's going to happen, and so on. Europe. It's all economic crisis. Who is interested in that? It's all like a match to start the flame. But you're saying that Jews are going to be pressured in the entire world, Israel, and then so what? They're going to be pressured, and what can you do? Nothing you can do about it. Of course, it will be difficult, but in general, the nations of the world will be fighting with each other as well, just like during the Second World War. And it will be ideological war, not like it used to be an invasive war for markets, like oil, coal, and so on. But those who were born in Palestine and moved there, many of those among your students, exactly when the State of Israel was established, and they say that in the past when Jews moved here, there was such a sensation of a family. And now it turned to be such, everyone is a stranger to another, relative to Jews. They changed. It's natural, like in any young country. First of all, there are more men than women. Secondly, everyone unites so they can survive. Everyone came from the same area, the south of Russia. So there was a common language, common everything. The entire Palestine was populated from 80s of 19th century to middle of 20th century by immigrants from Russia, Eastern Europe, from elsewhere. So, and then others began to arrive. After establishment of the state, began to arrive refugees from Arab countries. Is it why Russian language is so widespread here? Right? Well, not only the language, the culture and all that. It was very serious at one point. And then when Eastern Jews arrived, they wanted to assimilate them, gave them chances to advance, and so they and today it's all received such forms, such miasmal forms. Then only spiritual correction will help to do something with it. Of course, it's pity to look at what's going on. The nation, because everyone gathered in one place all of a sudden, instead of leaping forward to spirituality, morally, spiritually, culturally fell even lower. Well, it must be as an initial stage of development, and then it'll go away, I hope. So your students are different from others, though. Your students are aware in some degrees already. They are different people. The state of Israel and the state of Kabbalah, so to say, it has it's completely two different states. The state of Kabbalah is international. It's ideological.